Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ray Guitar channel, and today, guys, we are talking about some podcast drama, or I guess comedian drama, because Theo Von recently has spoken out on his podcast this past weekend with Theo Von, and he talked about how he was scammed by a podcast network named Cast Media, and he aired out the guy behind the scenes who did all of this, named Colin Thompson, but apparently he was scammed out of around 6 figures worth of money. I will say allegedly because, he doesn't show any proof of all of this. So let's just get into this initial clip where he talks about all this stuff, and I'll give you my thoughts. All right, guys?
I want to talk about something. Our podcast was defrauded. We were stolen from. We were taken advantage of. A lot of ways to say it. The company that did it is Cast Media. And the man that did it is Colin Thompson. And I'm going to put his picture in here. I don't know exactly how to say this. I'm going to do my best. We're part of a larger group of podcasts that were stolen from. Just between talking with folks, there's up to $4 million that I know of that people were taking advantage of. We're in the 6 figures. I know of podcasts that are in the 7 figures. And Colin Thompson, that's his name. I want to say his name so you know it. People get taken advantage of a lot in business, and businesses use tactics and stuff to hide themselves, and they'll use bankruptcy or the threat of this or that, and he may get my money. That's okay. I'm fortunate that I can still have touring and that I can take care of myself. But you fuck with the wrong rat, Colin. I'll tell you that, brother. And I'll just tell you guys what happened. We had a deal with this company, right? And it was started off good, and then it started to get where we were getting less of our payments. And we were reading the ads. We do the ads, we read them out loud, and and you guys support some of them, and thank you. It got to be where we were getting paid less of the payment we were owed. And they sell all the ads a year in advance, so you're kind of stuck into the year, right? And the advertisers were paying Colin Thompson and Cast Media, and they weren't paying us. They would pay us a little bit, and they had a reason why. And so and one of the craziest parts was we kept asking, hey, we have to get paid, man. We have to, and we weren't getting paid. And so finally I was able to make a new deal and just cut ties completely. I made sure that everything, they breached our contract. And so I was able to cut ties. And then they come along, Colin Thompson comes along, and he joined.
Now, I will say, there's just so many stories of these entertainment businesses and networks and stuff completely defrauding and stealing from the entertainment that they sign on. I mean, how many, YouTube networks have come and gone throughout the years? Just recently there was that whole drama with Ethan Klein raising up a whole stink about his network not paying him the money that they owed him. And it just kind of shows me, at least in my humble little opinion, that the best thing to do with all of this YouTube and entertainment sphere stuff is to build your own team who can manage all of these sponsorships and can manage this stuff for you, rather than outsourcing it to a bigger network that is going to end up stealing your money at some point in time. Obviously, not every network is going to be scummy, but there's just way too many of them at this point. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more back end in that, and, Theo Von, he's a famous comedian, he's touring, maybe he doesn't have the time to do all that outsourcing. He could hire a manager that would do all of that for him and just find the team that would find the sponsorships for him and all of that shit and just not join a network. But hell, at that point, I'm just speculating on if it would be more beneficial to do all of that in the long run. At this point, that's my opinion. You will never see me join a network or anything like that if I ever got the chance, because why the fuck would I? If there's so many of these pieces of shit companies that come in, steal money from the actual entertainment, from the people who deserve it, from what all of these audience members are coming here for, they're just ripping money out of their hands and being like, well, we found you guys the sponsorships, so we deserve more of that money, actually. Big gay. But then he continues on, and it just gets worse, dude.
There's a new company that has a stock that's going live soon, right? Or it's coming out or something. This company called Podcast One or Live One, right? But they get me on a call with this guy, Rob Ellen, right? And they tell me, that if you come over to our new network, over to this new network, Podcast One, that we'll pay you some of what you're owed in stock, right? But the stock hasn't gone public, so they're trying to, it felt like to me, they're trying to leverage our podcast and other podcasts to then make their stock do well. And then if that happens, then we'll get a share of our money, right? Like the whole thing to me felt really seedy. And the worst part to me was I said, well, what about Colin Thompson? I said, that guy's a crook. They said, we felt like he's done a good job and that he would be part of the team still. I know some of this is a lot of insider baseball, man, but to me it was just fucking it felt real dirty, and it felt like just no respect for podcasting, no respect for the work that we had done. You know, to get paid by the advertisers and then not pay us. And then for Colin to lead us in this direction to say, well, if you join this other group before their stock goes out, that then we'll pay you in some of the stock, but part of that will be based on if we're there for it to do well. I don't know, man, but I know what it feels like to be taken advantage of. And I wouldn't do that to these people. I wouldn't do that to Colin Thompson. I wouldn't do that to Cast Media. And so I say this just because I don't want this guy taking advantage of anybody else. A lot of times in business practices, especially in like entertainment stuff, a lot of people are able to snake away, and they're able to slip through and use tactics and shell games and bullshit. But you fucked with the wrong rat, homie. I have a voice. And a lot of other people are forced into these bad deals because they're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to speak up, man. And that's not what our show is about. And yeah, I just want you guys to know that this is the man. We put his picture up on the thing, on the YouTube. And the amount of money that from other people, podcasters, they've said is over $4 million. Yeah, it's just, this shit's fucking wrong.
And you know, it really is unfortunate to see this kind of stuff happen, because the more like scam type shit that keeps going out like this, you know, like promising them shares of a company that isn't even public on the stock market yet, and not even knowing if the company's going to do well on the stock market or not, and the way that they're going to be priced is if you join. That very much is scummy, especially since it was like the same company hiring the same dude who already scammed him. Like, thank the Lord that Theo Von was smart enough not to fall for this, but there's a lot of people out there that are just dumb and will just be like, oh yeah, now I can trust you, for no fucking reason at all. And again, like, this just kind of shows me, you know, just stay independent, because obviously there's lots of people out there that are going to try and take a cut from you, even though they don't deserve it in any way, shape, or form. Even though they're not adding any value to your business in any way, shape, or form, and they're gonna try and take that cut because they want a piece of your pie. You baked a pristine little apple pie and they want a very juicy big old slice of it. Even though they didn't chip in for any of the ingredients, they didn't help you bake that pie. Hell, they didn't even put on a single strip of that cross-hatch crust. Whenever people do that like fucking square crust where like there's some of the pie innards poking through, it's just delicious looking, dude. Obviously a closed off pie does look delicious, more so whenever you cut into it and you start seeing the innards and the juices all like flowing and spreading out on the plate. That's where it looks a little bit more delicious. But just the closed pie by itself doesn't look as good, and that's a fucking fact. But then I saw this clip of Hassan Piker, who apparently, with him and his one friend who had a podcast together, they worked for the same company, Cast Media, and he was also scammed out of money. And the way that they tried to pay him for all of the sponsorships and all the work and shit that they did was trying to give them pairs of shoes. No, bruh, you don't give me fucking pairs of shoes, you give me the money that I deserve. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna cry because Hassan Piker was scammed or whatever the fuck. It's just kind of funny. It, like, really goes to show how scummy of a business this was, dude.
It didn't go great because they made us fucking read all these goddamn ads. And then they claimed that we made, like, over the course of our entire fucking experience with Kaz, which was like almost a year, they said that we made like a total of $6,000 or something, which I didn't really give a fuck about anyway. Like, we never got paid until the end of our deal, okay? And the only thing Will ever got, which they tried to give me as well, was a Rothy shoes. And I was like, I don't fucking want those shoes, man. So Will got paid in shoes, technically. And we at the end of it got, like, I think $6,000, but, like, we did ad reads every fucking episode. Think about that. Every fucking episode. Like, it's nuts. It's
And hey, like him or hate him, that's fucking insane. In no way, shape, or form should a fucking company be doing that to their fucking entertainment, like, to their talent. Because again, like I said, that just devalues the entire space in and of itself. It makes this whole, like, YouTube landscape and podcasting landscape and shit look more scammy. It makes it just look less official and less professional. And obviously, like, these kinds of companies and these kinds of scams are in every industry, you know what I mean? You just kind of have to keep your eye out for them. But I'm almost positive that with these, like, big business type fucking companies, they are telling you, no, you have to sit down, you have to completely break the flow of conversation and the flow of the podcast, and you just have to stop, read this ad read word for word, and you don't get to make it your own, you don't get to have fun with it in any way, shape, or form. But other than all of that, guys, you know, I don't think there's too much else to talk about here. It's a damn shame that they got scammed out of this money. Fucking $4 million, dude. That's retarded. Other than that, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Comment your fucking ass off, ladies and gentlemen. Gay retard out.